What's up, guys? It's your boy Cielshock from CTUSA Mini4wd Drive Racing Squad, and I'm a teacher here in Noobworx. And before I start my video, I want to say shout out to Yown Clothing. If you guys are into Filipino 90s clothing streetwear, Yown Clothing, I got the link at the description below. And also, I want to say shout out to Matrixx Power Cleaner and Highspeed Racing Oil. Available with these two awesome bottles right here, Highspeed Racing Oil and Power Cleaner. Shout out, and thank you, Sir Michael, for this awesome team t-shirt right here. Matrixx t-shirt. Also, shout out to Band Royalty, to all my teammates. With all that being said, we are going to build a car today. And it's not just a box stock kit car. We're going to build a basic tune class build. But with this new chassis, VZ chassis, and this Neo VQS, we're going to go bye-bye. Because you've seen how it performed in box stock. And I'm not going to build a pro stock build. I'm not going to build the super stock build. I'm going to build basic tune class, and we're gonna use this new chassis. And let's get into the show. What up, guys? I'm back. So this is the Neo VQS VZ chassis. As I've said earlier, we are going to build this for basic tune class build, and we're done with box stock with this car, so that's why we're gonna build it to upgrade into a basic tune class build for basic tune class race. But for new to this channel, basic tune class, quick summary of the rules. No cutting, no trimming of the tires, no floating transmission. Floating transmission, that means modifying the transmission or modifying the gears, like floating gears. Also, no cutting the chassis to make it lightweight. No trimming the tires. And basically everything is going to be bolt on. And it should be on Tamiya measurements. The Tamiya official measurements, which means it will fit on the dimension box. And so on and so forth. If you're old in the channel, if you've already been following and watching Noobworx for a while, you already know what basic tune class is. But if you're still a newbie and you still don't know what basic tune class is, you can watch all my basic tune class builds. It's on the basic tune class build folder, or basic tune class build playlist, and you will hear the rules over there. All right, so moving on, I'm gonna tell you all the things that I need to use. One is a nut driver right there. It doesn't matter what kind of nut driver, but that's the nut driver that I use. That's Mechanic Man. Also, we are going to use a Tamiya screwdriver. We are going to use this Dremel micro Dremel because it's handy. It doesn't have to be a micro Dremel. You can use any rotary tool, but I use a micro Dremel because it's handy. And also this sanding, grinding, shaving Dremel accessory tool. I don't know what it's called, but I will use this for countersunking. As you can see, I've been using it for countersunking because in some basic tune class places, you're allowed to countersunk, but you have to make sure on your racing center if they allow you to countersunk. But most racing center nowadays allow it for the track safety purposes because it doesn't damage the truck. If it's countersunk, the track will be not damaged when the car passes by. All right, next would be goggles, safety goggles. Obviously, if you're doing some sanding or grinding, you need safety goggles. And also, you need some face mask. It doesn't matter what kind of face mask. This one is a 3M face mask. This is really good when I'm doing some carbon cuts, but we're going to be needing it. So now we're going to remove this. This is the box stock setup. So we're going to remove this. We're actually going to time-lapse this. All right, so time-lapsing right now. All right, so now that we remove all the parts that we don't need, I usually go start with the transmission and the wheels. All right, so we are going to use a 351 gear ratio, the super speed gear set. which we need for tune class because I want that top speed. But we are going to change the tires and the bearings. So we're gonna remove this and we're gonna remove that. All right, so now we're gonna change this low friction polyoxymethylene bearings with AO620s right here. All right, so we're gonna use AO620s as usual. Those are good bearings. So we have to make sure that we use it on the rear part. So the rear part would be this, which is wide, because that's where all your torque is coming from. So we're gonna use AO620s, put it over there, put it on this side. All right, and then we put our gears. There you go. And then when I put my wheels, I usually use a roller spacer because it helps to smoothen the transmission, and that's also legal in basic tune class. Oops, that's not the tires that we're going to use. This one. These are the wheels that we're going to use. So we're going to put the roller spacer first, and I always do on this side. There you go. This one. Right. Oh, hold on. I forgot the roller spacer. There you go. Okay. Double check if it's smooth. Not too tight. There you go. And then we're going to use the front one. But we're not going to use this. We are going to use carbon. This carbon wheels. Alright. Carbon wheels. But we're going to use low friction maroon tires, because this is for cornering. So this is what we are going to use for the front, right? So we're actually going to use this for the front using this. All right, so we're going to use this carbon wheels. So I want it to be color matched. So what we're going to do is we're going to have black in front and then red up there. All right. I mean, I think I can use this, but I like it to color match more, have a little contrast. But carbon is actually good too. But this is what I'm going to use. All right. Also going to use AO620s. Going to remove the polyoxymethylene rollers because AO620s are better when it comes to smooth transmission. There you go. Make sure you get the original part, especially on official to me rules. There you go, roller spacer, both ends. Then we're gonna put these wheels. And make sure it's aligned when you put it on. There you go. All right. So at the rear part, we are going to use some hard tires. So what we're going to do over here is we use the hard tires at the rear and then low friction hard tires up front. All right, and let me remind you guys must be wondering why I'm not using trim tires, because it's not allowed in tune class. So because it's not allowed in tune class, we're using low profile super hard tire. And that's basically going to be for cornering. Where's the other hard tire? Oh, this one. This one's hard. There you go. Alright, so it's going right here. There you go. So that's going to be our wheels. And then I'm going to change this polyoxymethylene bearings to some round hole bearings. So we are going to put it in the counter gear right here for smoother transmission. And there you go. We'll put the stock motor later, or whatever motor we're gonna use. Just make sure it's all aligned. Some adjustments later. All right, so now let's move on to the front bumper. So for the front bumper, I did attach this 19mm ringless rollers, and I want to use this because for cornering, I want it to be awesome in cornering. And also I use this aluminum spacer red right there. I like the screaming red over there because I want it to be aluminum because I want it to be tougher. And also this stabilizers right here, these are the stabilizers. Stabilizers makes the car stable, so I can use it on a traditional lane changer. I'm planning to use this at a 3-lane track, not on a 5-lane, but maybe sometime I'm gonna use it in 5-lane, but I'm gonna switch it to 17mm if I use it in 5-lane. But for now, because I'm using it on I'm planning to use it on a 3-lane, I'm gonna use the stabilizers right there. So I already put it over there. And also I use this carbon reinforcing plate, Jacob 2017. It doesn't matter what year, you gotta be reinforcing plate. I want it to be carbon because I want it to be durable as much as possible. And then at my as my brake at the front, I have this reinforcing plate, which is fiberglass, FRP, fiber reinforced plate, and it's already countersunk. I use the item that I showed you earlier, so I basically drill it like that, so it's countersunk, and it goes under here because I've noticed the VZ chassis underneath is flat, so you can actually use it right there. You can use it as a brake, and then I will use this as my bumper. I was thinking if I can upgrade it to a different bumper in the future, but for now, because this is my first time building it, I'm gonna rely on this, and I think this is durable enough. But I would be more comfortable if I will use a multi-setting stay that will be attached over there, so it'd be more sturdier. But for now, I think that will be good. So what we're going to do is we are going to attach that over here up front. When you attach it, we're going to use a screwdriver, and this will be acting as our brake. All right, so it goes over here underneath. It's right here. So when I'm building 2 in class, I always pre-drill it so it's easier. So I see it's easier to drill, to put the screws all the way. I use this part. I got this from JHD actually. Shout out JHD. Jeff, yeah, I haven't talked to him in a while. So I use this. It's a mechanic man. So I drill the hole so it loosening up. Right, so now that's it attached in the bumper. So I think it will get the job done for now, but in the future, I'm gonna change it to an actual multi-settings plate that will actually goes here with these 2 holes, actually supports it, so every time it goes hit something, it will not go for a negative angle. That's good for now. All right, next we are going to use this is a high-grade carbon side stay from MA chassis, and then we're gonna put it over here like this. All right, because if we actually use the traditional for AR1, it might hit this part right here, so we're using this. But before we use this, obviously we're gonna use the goggles and this too, because carbon's not good for our body. We gotta countersunk it by the use of our Dremel rotary tool. I'm gonna show you real quick how to do this. So it goes like this. You can find this at hardware shops. Make sure you get the right one. So when I put side stays, especially in tune class, take note, if you're racing tune class, make sure your tune class house rules allow you to countersunk, because mine does. So I make sure that I make this as low as possible legally. So we're gonna drill this right here. So now that it's countersunk, we're gonna use this spacer to make it as low as possible, and then we're gonna measure it later to attach it. Right? So we're going to attach it now. Oops. Use this one. Man, drop. Oh, come on. Oh. Right, so we're actually going to use a setting board and a setting gauge. Alright, let's see if it's legal. All flat. There you go. So you can see. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. There you go. It's like 1.5 above the ground. There you go. So we are legal right there. We actually use a countersunk screw that will be more smoother, but that's super legal. Good job. Almost hanging there. Oh, nice and tight. Alright, good. So now that we have them both attached, what we're gonna do next is we're gonna use longer screws like this. So that's where we are going to put our dampers. Goes like that. So we're gonna secure it with a lock nut. Okay. Alright, so we're actually done. I'm just gonna switch these ball caps right here. Alright, so I want it to color match, that's why I use red. So these are the damper combinations that I'm using. These are kind of like brittle, but hopefully they won't snap. And then we're going to the tail now. So this is what it looks like right now. So that low friction maroon is up front. I'm getting excited right now. Alright, so let's move on at the rear part. Alright, so at the rear part, I'm actually gonna use 2017 multi-setting stay. I mean 2018. It don't matter what kind of multi-setting stay you're using, as long as you're using this multi-setting stay like this. You can use different ones like this one, or any color, but this one I like because it color matches. And then I already attached this 19mm rollers right here, and then I have a black spacer over there just to have a little contrast. And these are 19mm for stability purposes. I wish I can have the ones with plastic O-rings, but for now I will use this, and then I will use this reinforcing plate for my long tail brake setup, and it goes like that. There you go. And we're gonna secure it with screws, with nuts for now. But oh, actually, you know what, we are going to countersunk it first. My bad. Oh, let's go countersunk it. There you go. And we are going to use this slim dampers right here, because I think that's enough. It goes right here. And if you look closer, you might be wondering if it's rubbing. It's not. Right there. Take a look closer. See? It's not hitting it. You have a lot of space. So you don't have to worry about that. And obviously we can secure it with some red ball caps. Because I love color matching. Oops. Alright, so now that that is secure with red ball caps, we are going to put it right here as the tail. Alright, so we are going to use the screws and some lock nuts. Right, so we're going to use this bit to loosen up. There you go. So it's all loosen up, so it would be easier for us to put those screws. There you go. Right, so it goes right here. I usually do under. So this time we're going on top, because if we go lower, that would be so low and will be all illegal if we go super low. So now we're going on top, and actually it secures it more because the VZ chassis got that grooved. So we're going to screw it all the way up like this. There you go. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Oops, something went out. This would be a screw or something. Ooh, that's really secure. I'm surprised. So let's see if it's legal. Gonna make it a habit just to check it if it's legal. As you can see, it's all legal there. It's all legal. So we're gonna secure this with nuts later, and we're gonna cut all those excess screws. But next, we're gonna use an underguard. So this is a Super X mount plate, and we're gonna do it like this, so it acts like an underguard. But we're gonna screw it on the second hole over here of the multi-setting stay. It will act like an underguard, and this is only a fiber FRP. So we're gonna countersunk it again. So we're gonna use this once again, and then first we're gonna make sure that it lines up. There you go, it lines up over here. All right, now we're gonna use that hole right there. FRP is actually easier to countersunk compared to the carbon ones. So a little bit more. Gotta be careful making the hole bigger. There you go. Again, a reminder, make sure your racing center allows you to do that. All right, so we're using these red spacers. Goes like this. There you go. All right, for now we're using those long screws, and then we're gonna lock it with some nuts. So we're almost done here, guys. There you go. So you can explore and build your own. There's no such thing as default setup. This is only a guide for you guys. And because it's Guese chassis, there's really no setups out there online in the internet or whatever, YouTube or wherever. So this could be a guide for you, for the people that are racing basic tune class. And that's the beauty with Mini 4-wheel drive. Every time something comes out, everything is new and nobody knows about it. And you see you have a nap gap. It's not rubbing on the wheels. And there you go. As you can see, it's all legal right there. Oh, it's all legal right there. Actually use this. See, nothing is rubbing. One thing I noticed, this is really high. So I'm gonna start cutting those soon. And then we just need some lock nuts right here. So we can use this. So I'm gonna use this nuts right here to secure the sides. As I put this nuts, make sure that it's all legal, as I've said earlier. And again, this is only a guide for you guys. This is my own setup. And I'm probably gonna do some adjustment. It depends how it goes on my test run or maybe on my first race. But this is what a basic tune class legal car is, unless your racing center doesn't allow you to countersunk. So there you go. There's screws over there. This build is all Tamiya. All right. Some racing centers, they allow non-Tamiya parts. So again, before I forget, if you guys are wondering about this is a carbon and this is just regular plastic, and I just want to contrast it because it's maroon. And you guys are wondering if we're still going to use this body shell. We are not, because it's going to hit these side dampers. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to pick one of these two. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use yet, if I'm going to use a Thundershot clear body. And it's this Thundershot is actually for ARVS and Super 1 or Super 2, so it actually fits the VZ. And this is a Vanquish body 2 into 15. So I don't know which one, if I'm going to go for a hard shell or a polycarb, up in the air yet. But for now, this is my build for basic tune class. There you go. And once I actually use it for racing and I actually prove to you guys that this setup can win or very accurate for racing, I will actually post a video with full details, breakdown of this build with item numbers. But for now, this is the prototype of my basic tune class car. It's not perfect yet, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people will bomb me on messaging. Oh, you should have used this, you should have used that. Yep, this is only a prototype, and it's just giving you ideas how to do it. Like, I can actually use a longer popsicle like this. So I have the option with 13mm, or I can actually use this. There's a lot of options that I can do. I can actually use this. Probably sturdy. Or a multi-setting stay like this. Like what I've said earlier, that this part will actually be resting here. so it'd be more strong. But I think it's strong enough, but just to make sure, they will be more stronger if I have this supporting it. Or maybe I'll use the carbon version of these, because I know there's a carbon version of these. But for now, this is my VC chassis basic tune class build. There you go. This tires are for cornering. Rollers are for cornering. I'm not using plastic rollers at the rear yet, because I don't know how fast it would be. And maybe I'll use torque tune, I'll use atomic tune, depends on the track layout. Those protruding screws, if you guys are wondering, I'm gonna cut those. I'm gonna grind those, because that's illegal actually if it's protruding. Alright, so this is not done yet, but this is basically the chassis for now. Prototype. Again, this is Cielshock from CTUSA Mini 4-Wheel Drive Racing Squad. I'm a teacher here in Noobworx. If you like this video, please hit like. If you don't like this video, hit the dislike button. And share what you think about this prototype build, or put some comments, share some experience about building tune class. I would love to interact with you guys in the comments. As I always say, we'll learn from you, learn from us. Always race humble. Peace.